Hello, my Eagle Eye editors. This is Coach David once again. You're welcome to the Eagle Eye editing coaching class. What I want to do today is to return to our class activity and show you how we can work on it together. I've been seeing your submissions, brilliant submissions, and I've graded all of them. And I love those of you who have even taken some of those editorial comments that I gave to you, and you have produced the second draft and then a third draft, and I'm really excited about that. And I understand that you are going to even get it better if we can work on it together, and that's why I want to do the screen recording so that you can see it. So here's a class activity that I gave to you, something written by Raymond Carver. On commonplace but precise language, which I totally destroyed. So we're going to work on this together. The first thing I want to do is to copy this piece, copy it from here, because it's not going to be easy working on it on WhatsApp. So I'm going to get a Word document and place it there. I love to use the Microsoft Word software, so I have it on my phone. If you don't have it, you can get one. So I'm going to create a new document, so blank document over here. Let's paste what we just copied from our virtual classroom. Let's paste it here. So let's select all, and then let's format the font size. Let's use 30. I think 38 will be good for a good view, or 36, right? 36 will be good for a good view. And so I think we're good. So let's kind of size it here so that we fit it to the screen. Now we can start working on our document. So remember that we have a few goals, a number of goals while we're editing. We are aiming at punctuation accuracy, verb tense consistency, spelling accuracy, grammatical accuracy, and paragraph adequacy. And what I did was to take a very beautiful piece and mess it up. Remember, right? And I made the punctuations to be inaccurate. I made the verb tenses to be inconsistent, the spellings to be inaccurate, the grammatical accuracy I totally destroyed, and then I made the paragraphs inadequate. So I just totally destroyed the whole piece. So let's not bother ourselves with class activity. Edit this excerpt until it sparkles. Duration 5 minutes. Well, remember that I changed the duration in the class to 25 minutes so that you could work on it. So let's start working on our stuff over here. So here's the first line. It's possible in a poem or short story to write about commonplace things, an object using commonplace but precise language, and to endow those things: a chair, a window, a curtain fork, a stone, blah blah blah. But you notice that this is total rubbish, right? But before we keep on working, I want us to justify this. I want us to justify this. Okay, let's see. Paragraph formatting. Okay, yeah, let's get back here. So justify, so that everything can fit side to side. So now let's start working on it. It's possible. Let's start editing. It's possible. So we see this "it's" here, that it's it's the kind of its "it's" there is a pronoun possessive of perhaps an inanimate object, right? It's possible. So it's not what we need here is actually it. What we need here is it apostrophe s, right? Apostrophe s. It's possible. It apostrophe s. Because let me get to my notepad so that I can make some explanations for you. So its, this possessive, it apostrophe s is contraction, which equals it space is. It is, right? So contraction. The apostrophe here signifies that there are certain elements missing, just like the space is missing and then I is missing, the letter I is missing, so that we have the contraction of its as its. So that's what we have here. It's possible in a poem or short story to write about commonplace things, and objects using commonplace but precise language. The spelling of precise here is wrong. I don't want to use the autocorrect. I want us to correct it manually. So precise language. And to endow those things, now what's this particular punctuation mark called? It is called an M dash. Let me show you the spelling. M dash and M dash. All right. So how do you create an M dash? If you're using a mobile phone like I'm using it, check if you have this function. Hold down hyphen and then drag, and then you have your M dash. Okay. So let's get back to our editor. A chair. Now the rule here when you're using the dash is that the spaces around the dash must be of equal spacing. So you can see here, so we have that, that's accurate. So we have those things dash a chair, comma. Now here is a rule that you must follow in English language, or when you're writing in English language, or in any language at all. After every punctuation mark, you must bang the space bar and have a space. All right, but you must not have a space before a punctuation mark. This is wrong, so you take out that space before the punctuation mark, or after the punctuation mark you have a what? A space. A window curtain, this to be a comma here to separate items in a list, right? So those things, the function of the M dash here is to list out the elements of those things to give us more information about those things. So those things: a chair, a window, curtain, a fork. Let's look at it. How many spaces do we have? Just one space. Good. A fork. And notice that we have a space after K in fork. We have a space before the punctuation mark, which is comma. So you close up that space and then you come here. You see that there is no space between the comma and letter A. So let's bang the space bar and have a space over there. So that's what we've done. A stone, comma. A woman's hearing. We definitely know that the plural of woman is women, not woman's. So this is supposed to be a possessive, right? So let's put the apostrophe S so that we have a woman's hearing. But here we have it hearing. The author Raymond Carver intended to write not hearing, not the ability or that quality of you being able to pick up sounds, but talking about hearing. So this is the correct spelling of the hearing. And remember that the dash is to have equal spacing at both sides of it. So here we have one space, and then in the other side of it we have no space at all. So let's close up that space. Now because the document is formatted, that's why we're having the spacing. Okay, so let me do something. Let me just select all and change the formatting, the paragraph formatting. Let me just make it such that everything comes from closes up to the left. So where are we? So woman's hearing, here we are. With immense, even startling power. Let's fit the whole thing so that we can see startling power. I think that's the end of that statement. Or let's keep reading. With immense, even startling power, it is possible to write a line. So you can see that that's the end of that sentence. Let's fix a full stop over there and then read the whole sentence once again to see if it makes sense. It's possible in a poem or short story to write about commonplace things and objects using commonplace but precise language, comma, and to endow those things, dash, a chair, comma, a window curtain, comma, a fork, comma, a stone, comma, a woman's hearing, comma, now, dash, with immense, even startling power. Okay, here is it. We have missed out something here. And that with immense, even startling power. You see, that doesn't make sense. With immense, we pause, that even startling power. So when you pause, what do you fix? You fix a comma. So with immense, even startling power. Now, this comma, the function of this comma is to set a distinction or to set off two parts of an apostrophe. Okay, so immense, even startling power. Immense is an adjective that is qualifying the noun power, and startling also is an adjective qualifying the noun power. So an apostrophe actually is the stacking together of two or more adjectives to qualify the same noun. So I hope you get that. So we use a comma to set off those adjectives to differentiate, not to differentiate, but to space them out. So what Raymond Carver is actually saying here is that with immense power and with startling power, or with immense, even startling power. So let's keep moving. Now we come to full stop over here, and we come to the next statement. Now let's check if there is a space. Yeah, there is a space after the full stop, so let's fix back the space. But notice that the word it is starting with lowercase, so we're wiping that out and producing another it that starts with uppercase capital letter I. Then we have lowercase t. So it is possible to write a line of seemingly innocuous dialogue and have it send a chill along the reader's spine. Now let us be consistent here. You can see the M dash here, though it has equal spacing at both sides, but so far we've had our M dash to have no spacing at both sides, so at both ends. So let's make sure that we take out the spaces here. Let's take out the spaces here. The reader's spine dash the source of artistic delight, as Nabokov will have it. Now Nabokov is a proper noun, and the rule of grammar, writing grammar, would mandate us to start every proper noun with a capital letter. So that's why we have stricken out lowercase n and replaced it with uppercase n. So the light as Nabokov would have it. So we've been learning that there must always be a punctuation, a space after every punctuation mark. So let's take out that constriction that we have over there, and let's bang the space bar and have a space. So we see that's the kind of, so we're having that here, which is to be the contraction of the two words that. So let's go back to, remember this, it is. So in that same vein, we'll have that equals that is. So that's it. So that's the kind of writing that most interests me. According to the rules of Concord, remember the video I've shown you in the coaching class about subject-verb agreement. The subject in this sentence here, that's the kind of writing is the subject that most interests me. So remember that this is a singular subject and the verb here is a plural verb. Remember that a singular subject will not have s or es at the end in most cases, but a singular verb will have s and or es at the end in most cases, while a plural subject will definitely have an s or an es at the end, while a plural subject like interest here will not have an s. A plural verb rather will not have an s or an es at the end of it. So writing here is singular subject. The verb here, interest, is plural verb, and that's subject verb inconsistency. So how do we fix this? Let's put an S at the back of interests so that we have interests. So that's the kind of writing that most interests me. Full stop. Now, after a full stop, remember that the word that follows after must start with initial capital. So here we have a word, and the word is a single letter word, I. And I, wherever it is, either at the middle of a sentence or at the beginning of the sentence, would, if it's the personal pronoun I, then we have it here. First person pronoun I. So I ate sloppy. The spelling of sloppy here is sloppy itself, so it's to be double P. I ate sloppy of hazard writing. When I ate flies here, I destroyed the spelling of flies. But let's read the whole sentence. I ate sloppy of hazard writing. When I eat flyers under the banner, so that doesn't make sense. When I eat flyers, no, then this certainly should be flies, not fly. Why? Because we are talking about writing, and the subject is writing here, and the subject is singular, and fly here is plural verb, but the singular version of this fly is flies. Under the banner of experimentation of else is just clumsily rendered realisms. No, you can see that it doesn't make sense of else. So here we must be having a contrast between two ideas here. Whether it flies under and whether here is signifying that this word should be or. Whether it flies under the banner of experimentation or else is just clumsily rendered realism. Okay, so it's not off, it should be on. Not on, off, or rather, the banner of experimentation or else is just clumsily rendered realism. Rendered here is wrongly spelled. I wanted to train your ego eye, so I fixed in an extra R. So that's so subtle, right? So subtle. Clumsily rendered realism. So what you have to do here now is to take out S is to be realism. Now that's so subtle. That's so subtle because in certain cases realisms can be correct. Particularly when you are contrasting or you are talking about more than one class of realism. But realism is a school of thought, sort of, and so it's an idea, and most times it's uncountable. So let's keep it realism over here. So I'm not pretty sure about how it should be. So in Isaac Babel's wonderful story, proper noun starts with capital letter I. Proper noun Babel start with capital letter B. Now here is it, two parts of a person's name. I found people writing the first part initial capital, and then the other part they're starting it with initial lowercase, and that's totally crazy. So let's make sure that we are so meticulous with this. Isaac Babel's. Now notice what's happening here. Rather than the apostrophe S here, we're having the opening quotation marks. So let's take that out. That's an error, and let's fix the appropriate apostrophe, showing that what we are going to talk about next is something that Isaac Babel possesses. So in Isaac Babel's wonderful story, Guy de Maupassant, so here, look at this for consistency's sake. This is a single quotation mark, opening quotation mark, but then the closing quotation mark is double. So remember the video in the class where I thought that the singular, that's when you are quoting something that someone said or wrote, make sure that you use the double quotation mark. So that's what we're going to do right here. So take out the single quotation mark and fix the double quotation mark. And remember that mostly it's advisable for you to have your punctuation mark after the quotation mark to be, when you're using a quotation mark, the punctuation mark is nearest to the quotation mark, that is very near to the quotation mark, should be inside the quotation mark. Okay, so that we have taken out comma and we are fixing the comma in here. The more percent, got the more percent, and now let us put a space between the closing quotation mark and THE there. So got a more percent, comma, in quotes. The narrator has this to say about the writing of fiction, right? So let's take out the O and fix our I, fiction. Now, when you're, notice what we have next here. It's a quote, right? A quote from Isaac Babel's Guy de Maupassant, right? So when you are introducing a quote, you don't use a semicolon. You use a colon instead to introduce a quote. So taking that out, and look at what we had there before I took it out. Let me fix it back. We have the closing quotation mark to be the opening quotation mark. I've seen pieces of writing this way and it's absolutely terrible. So let's take that out and fix the appropriate quotation mark there. So the opening quotation mark, right? Now, the first letter in a quote must be capital letter. So, except in few cases, which if you ask me, I'll show you in the quoting class. Also, initial capital N, no iron, initial capital I. No, let's get that out because it's inappropriate. Let's fix the lowercase I there. No iron can pierce the heart with such force. Can pierce. This must be pierce, right? No iron can pierce the heart with such force. Sir? No. So let's get that out. Let's straighten that out. As a period. Putted. What kind of language is that? Putted. No. Let's get that out. Let's get the TD out. So what's the past tense of put? Put, not putted, right? So let's get out the TD. I intentionally put it there so test your understanding of grammar. Okay. So let's read our sentence once again. In Isaac Babel's wonderful story, Guy de Maupassant, the narrator has this to say about the writing of fiction. No iron can pierce the heart with such force as a period put just at the. Oh, now we come to the first abbreviation we have in this piece. I hate abbreviations, and if you must be an amazing writer and editor, you must hate abbreviations. So get out the abbreviation there. Okay, stop writing abbreviation. Is that clear? All right. So at the right place. Remember the rule. The full stop should get into the closing punctuation mark. So that's it. Now what do you have here? How many dots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dots. What's that? Is that a punctuation mark? Well, you've seen it many times. 5 dots, 7 dots, 6 dots, 10 dots, 11 dots, 20 dots. That's not a punctuation mark. Even 2 dots. Not a punctuation mark in English language or English in written English. So, but there are some dots that are a punctuation mark in English language, right? Okay. Apart from the full stop, we have what we call ellipses. An ellipsis basically is three dots of equal spacing in between them. Three dots of equal spacing in between them. Now, they are often used to represent, first, that something continues. For example, if you have 1, 2 in a series, 3, and you want to show that that progression continues, right? So you have 3 dots to show that it continues, right? That it's a continuum. Also, just as it's used here, it's used to represent that something in the piece is missing. And let me check the editing coaching class and show you that actually something is missing in this piece. Look at the original piece here. Remember where we stopped at the quotation mark, no iron can pierce the earth with such force as a period put just at the right place, right? Full stop. That's where we stopped. These two ought to go on the 3x5. So I left that out in the class activity, so that's why I put the 3 dots. I hope you get that, right? Let's return to our editor and continue editing. So you get that. Now we come to a fresh paragraph. Evan Cornell said, now let's see, is this paragraph right? So we are using block paragraphs, right? So use double enter. Evan Cornell, remember our rule for proper nouns, so this is to be capital C, not lowercase c. Evan Cornell said once that he knows it was finished with a shirt story. Oh, it could be a short story when he found. Oh, enough of that. Now we are coming into some really tough parts of this editing. So because I messed it up toward the end so badly. So Evan Cornell said once that knows it was finished. Whoa, that knows it was finished. Something is missing. We omitted that he knows. He said once that he knows, that he knew it was finished. Verb tense consistency. Said past tense, that he knew it was finished. Right? Was finished with a short story, actually. When he found herself, this is Evan Cornell, when he found herself, it's to be found, right? When he found himself going, this is crazy. Anything can be that annoying sometimes. You see, when he found himself going, though it's to be true, going through it, and takes out commas. Now notice going through it and takes out, going through it and taking out commas. Comma here is wrongly spelled, so it's to be double M, commas, and then going through. I can see going tough here, going through the story. This must be story. Going through the story. Again, I'm putting, spelling error, putting commas back in the same places here, because as it's working along, it's definitely going to be taking commas out of not just one place but several places. So places justified, and if we have place here, then you've got to review it, because logically you cannot take commas out of just one place. So places, that's cool, places. So we have comma. But notice, Evan Cornell said once that he knew it was finished with a short story when he found himself going through it and taking out commas and then going through the story again and putting commas back in the same place. That's a long in the same places. That's a long sentence. There's no comma in between. Well, no problem. But if we keep reading, I like that way of working on something. I like that way of working on something. Now, it's very unnatural for us to read. Evan Connell said once that he knew it was finished with a short story when he found himself going through it and taking out commas and then going through the story again and putting commas back in the same places. I like that. No, it's totally unnatural. So, in the same places, that should be a full stop there, and then remember the rule: a full stop, then bang the space bar. Let us have a space there. So remember I, oh my god, that's to be capital letter I like this abbreviation. This particular statement or sentence is filled with abbreviations. So let's get out all of the abbreviations here. I like that way of working on something. I like that way of working on something. So, something. Full stop. That's cool. I like that way of working on something. Cool. I respect. So, here is an addition rather than an omission. There is a K after C, which distorts the spelling of respect and makes it sound like it's German. I respect that kind. Take out the abbreviation and fix that full THAT, that kind of care for what has been done. For what is being done, for what has been done, for what has been. No, I like that kind of care for what is being done, not in the past tense, but this is actually talking about a reality. So it's to be in the present continuous, being done. So let me show you this. Here is the past tense of be. Be is the present tense. Past, the past tense is the past tense of be is been, and the present continuous tense. I'm not a very fast typer. Present continuous tense is been, so keep that in mind. And let's get back to our editor. What has been done? So we are almost nearing the end. Wow. So let's consider paragraph consistency here. Notice that between this paragraph and this paragraph, we have a block paragraph format. So here we are having a sort of indented paragraphing, and we either keep indented paragraphing or we just go with block all the way. So let's use block. So let's get out this paragraph here. Let's get out this paragraph here and double enter. So we have another paragraph. Remember, here's a full stop ending this paragraph, and now we come to a fresh paragraph, and a fresh paragraph is started with lowercase t. Wow, that's annoying, right? So let's get out the lowercase t and fix uppercase t. That's all we have. So here is that again. Let's apostrophe s. That's all we have. Comma. Finally, comma. So remember that we would always fix a space after a punctuation mark or before a punctuation mark. No, after it we're going to fix another space, by banging our spacebar. Finally, the words. That's that's all we have. Finally, the words. Now, this is a bit technical for you, but I found that some of the greatest writers often like to use parenthetical commas. So look at this. That's all we have. We could say that's all we have, the words. But it's concluding now. So he said that's all we have. Finally, finally, that's all we have. Finally. So we are setting off this finally. We are fixing it in between two commas that act as parentheses or a sort of bracket for finally, right? For finally. So there is another parenthetical comma here. That's all we have. Okay, the parenthetical comma here is the finally, the words, right? So purse, and then we continue. And they had better be the right ones. And they had better be the right ones. The spelling of ones here is incorrect, so because we're talking about words, and we want to make sure that they're the right ones. We are not talking about ones as an one-time occurrence. We're talking about ones here as in a special kind, a group of a particular kind. So the right ones. Let's read that statement again. That's all we have. Finally, the words, and they had better be the right ones. Comma with the punctuation. With the punctuation. No. Punctuation is actually wrongly spelled here. Wrongly spelled here. So with the punctuations, we have to have the punctuations or the punctuations. With the punctuations. I think we fixed that in the right places so that they can say in the right places. In the right places. I want to consult the original text to see how we can actually get that fixed. That's all we have. Finally, the words, and they had better be the right ones with the punctuation in the right place. So in my own case, I would like to fix a dash here so that we can have a break. But the author, that is Raymond Carver, did not fix any punctuation marks, so that this whole statement reads this way. That's all we have. Finally, the words, and they had better be the right ones with the punctuations in the right places so that they can best say, oh, now this is what, say what they are means to say. Now, say what, oh, that's a wrong spelling on my part, what they are meant to say. What they are meant to say. So if the words, definitely, if the words are heavy with the writer's own unbridled emotions, or if they are imprecise and inaccurate. So look at this. Inaccurate is actually spelled inaccurate, doesn't need the hyphen, right? So inaccurate, that's what we have. Inaccurate for some reason. I remember our consistency rule about the dash equals spacing at both ends. So while we're using when we're using the dash, particularly in this piece, we're ensuring that there is no space between the word before the dash and the word after the dash in relation to the dash or relative to the dash. So let's get out the space. Get it out. So or if they are imprecise and inaccurate for some reason, if the words is in any way blurred. So let's look at this. If the words are, so let's come to this now. So what I did was I came here. If the words are heavy with the writers, so are, the words are. So that's what we have in here. I have it with the writer's own unbridled emotion. So if they are imprecise and inaccurate for some reason, if the words, so consistent now, if the words is, no, if the words are in any way blurred, blurred is wrongly spelled, so that instead of double R we have double E. Let's take out one R, one E, and fix the R in the proper position. Blurred. So remember, close up the space. Blurred. The reader's eyes will slide, will slides. The reader's eyes will slide right, will slide right over it, and nothing will slide right over it, and nothing will achieve. No, definitely. It should be will slide right over it, and nothing will be achieved. Will be achieved. So there we are. We finally worked on this whole piece, the first edit. So you can see that let's go through the piece once again. But you can find that we spent longer time on even some shorter sentences than other sentences. That depends on the problems that are present in such sentences. So after the first edit, at least you have to go through 2 or 3 more edits before you are finally sure that your piece is well proofread. Okay, so now let us go through this once again. We're just going to do a sort of speed reading through this so that we can so that we can find any other error and test the piece for flow. So let's go. It's possible in a poem or short story to write about commonplace things and objects using commonplace but precise language, and to endow those things, a chair, a window curtain, a fork, a stone, a woman's earring, with immense, even startling power. It is possible to write a line of seemingly innocuous dialogue and have it send a chill along the reader's spine. The source of artistic delight, as Nabokov would have it. That's the kind of writing that most interests me. I hate sloppy or haphazard writing, whether it flies under the banner of experimentation or else is just clumsily rendered realism. In Isaac Babel's wonderful story, Guy de Maupassant, the narrator has this to say about the writing of fiction. No iron can pierce the art with such force as a period put just at the right place. End of quote. Evan Cornell said once that he knew it was finished. Oh, here. See, he knew it was finished with a short story. No, he knew it was finished because you see, he just wanted to escape our ego eye, but no, we're not gonna allow it escape our ego eye. So finished. It was finished with a short story when he found himself going through it and taking out commas and then going through the story again and putting commas back in the same places. I like that way of working on something. I respect that kind of care for what is being done. That's all we have finally, the words, and they had better be the right ones, with the punctuations in the right places so that they can best say what they are meant to say. If the words are heavy with the writer's own unbridled emotions, or if they are imprecise and inaccurate for some reason, if the words are in any way blurred, the reader's eyes will slide right over it and nothing will be achieved. So there we are. We have gone through the tough job of editing. You can imagine the amount of time we have spent on editing just this short piece to do a thorough job on it. So I hope that you've been able to learn a number of things just watching this screen demonstration of me working on this piece. And thank you so much for going all this length, and I hope to keep on having a wonderful time with you in the coaching class. So if you do have any question, make sure that you ask in the coaching class, with you keeping this in mind that whatever you have just seen in this demonstration or any other thing you have gotten in the coaching class, everything is just 20% of the value that we hope to deliver to you, but the other 80% of the value that you get from this coaching class, remember, will be attached to the questions that you ask and those demands that you make of me in the coaching class. So I remain your friend and your coach, David Lawal. keep editing masterfully.